So let us study about the integral calculus. So we know about differentiation, right? D by dx, it was used for differentiation. So d by dx of sin x, it was actually equal to cos x. D by dx log x, that was equal to 1 by x. So this was the differentiation. Okay, so integration is nothing but it is the reverse or inverse of differentiation. Okay, this is the inverse of differentiation. Okay, so the symbol which is used to represent this integration is a stylish S. Okay, we use this symbol for integration, and some subjects you will also see 1 by d of f of x is nothing but it is a integration of f of x. We normally use a d for differentiation. Okay, a d, so 1 by d it will be for integration, but now we will be using the stylish S for the integration. Okay, this is the integration symbol. Okay, now if you consider a function f of x, okay, the integration of f of x dx, that is equal to f of x plus c. Here f of x is the function, this is called as integrand. Okay, integrand, and dx, it tells us that we have to integrate this integrand, that is with respect to x. So if it was dy, it means it is with respect to y. Dz means it is with respect to z. So this is the function, this is the resultant function now, resultant function, and c is nothing but it is the constant of integration. Okay, constant of integration, or it is also known as arbitrary constant. Arbitrary constant. Okay, so normally what happens, d by dx of log x is equal to 1 by x. Okay, that means if I integrate 1 by x, that is with respect to x, I will get log x plus c, right? So instead of this, I can also write d by dx log x plus c, that also is equal to 1 by x. So this value, it belongs to R, okay, real number. So this, see, I can have log x plus 1 or something, log x plus 2, something like that. So we will be having many constants like this. For everything I am getting 1 by x. Okay, okay, if it is like log x is the antiderivative. Okay, it is the antiderivative of 1 by x, right? It is an antiderivative. So this antiderivative, this is not unique actually, okay, because we can have family of antiderivatives, because everything, it depends upon the constants, that is plus c. So this is the family of antiderivatives. So now I can say, like, if f of x is the antiderivative of f of x, then what happens? If I differentiate this function f of x, then obviously I should get this function back. If I differentiate, I should get back this function f of x. This can also be written as f of x plus c, that is also equal to f of x. If I consider the differentiation of sin x, that is equal to cos x, that means sin x, this is the antiderivative of cos x. Okay, and in integrals we will be having two types, that is, one is definite integral and another one will be the indefinite integral. So in definite integral, it will be like limits, upper and lower limits will be specified. Okay, that will be your definite integral. Now in integration, it's like, okay, if we are multiplying it with a constant, Okay, this can also be written as k then integration of f of x dx. That means this constant, it can be moved across this integration sign. If I write here, the integration will be the same. Okay, then we have this additive property. Okay, additive property is integration of f of x plus or minus g of x dx. That will be equal to integration of f of x dx plus or minus integration of g of x dx. Okay, so this one will be a additive property. And if I change, like if I have f of x dx, if I change the variable, it doesn't make any difference. I can write f of v dv or f of z dz. Okay, that will be same thing. So in the next class we will be studying about the properties of definite integrals.